It is 8:30. I call this meeting of the Wanda County Commission to order. Please, everybody join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good Monday morning, everybody.
Morning.
Hopefully everybody dried out over the weekend, had a good weekend. Pretty quiet on mine for the most part. As usual, we'll go ahead and start off with some public comments this morning. Don't see anybody up on Zoom. To the chamber, don't see anybody here. So anybody else have anything for public comments this morning? Okay, so I'll go ahead and close off the public comment section for this morning, and we'll move on to commissioner comments and Commissioner McKinley.
Last night I attended the Caw Valley Rodeo dinner and auction. The steaks were great and the auction was fun. The right auctioneer at those things can really make the fundraising auction fun. You stop bidding, he'll come over and harass you until you keep going. But they had a good time. I bid on some things, but wasn't successful. I guess I just helped run other people up. But it was a good time. Other than that, I spent some time reviewing items for coming up to today's meeting and catching up on email. For some reason, I've gotten behind. So catch up this weekend.
Okay. Well, I don't see Commissioner Foki up on Zoom, so maybe we'll catch up later and see how that goes. So as for me, kind of the same thing. I'm a little bit behind on email and stuff myself too. We'll get it squared away some way, shape, or form here anyway. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. Yeah. Guess for me, Thursday, I did have a phone conversation with Robin Cole from Pawnee Mental Health. So we're going to talk a little bit about new facility plans, or at least our discussion from county officials luncheon in June. Basically, she was really kind of wanting to know how to kind of work with staff and her Pawnee Foundation board on whatever it is that needs to be done or however that needs to be configured moving forward. So we conversed about that for a little while, and dialogue went good. We'll just have to kind of see how things transpire and probably just take it step by step. So they're starting to have some of those type of meetings. That's not just here, but just in general. So obviously that's a big part of what they'll need to do or not need to do moving forward based off of that. So Friday afternoon, I was invited by Bob Koppel from Ascension Via Christi and our former state representative, Kent Glasscock, to sit in a focus discussion group panel to discuss all the challenges, trends, opportunity, things that are going and moving and happening at the hospital. I was actually part of the last of the, they had 5 different focus groups total. They took certain members from the community, different cross sections, different areas, to put together a pretty overall robust conversation on the subject. Really to try to just promote probably a better overall discussion and get some thoughts and some ideas out there on the table. I can probably assure you from that conversation on Friday, there's still a lot more to come on that. So we'll continue to track and follow that moving forward too. And as I mentioned, my weekend was overall pretty quiet. I did go over some things through the proposed 2022 budget, a little bit more depth and bigger, and review the materials for today's law board meeting that's scheduled at noon today. So that's really all I've got. So guess we'll move on to some business this morning.
First item, commissioners, is CIP project funding authorization form for the asbestos removal and CIP for the church.
Okay.
That moved it. It says move to modify CIP authorization for the asbestos removal church.
Okay. That's been, I'll go second first, and then now that it's been moved and seconded, all those in favor of the authorization removal of asbestos from the church? Aye.
Chairman, at the very bottom.
Sign
for the next item of business.
Oh,
I have an amended resolution. That just shows you the amendments we made from the previous one.
Gotcha. Next, we have amending resolution for Bridgeview Heights, and Craig just passed out some amendments for the board.
Commissioner, it's a resolution regarding the Bridgeview Heights sanitary system, which back in 2018, the district was dissolved because the global solution became moot when the county approved the new, I can't think of the new sanitation system, Perry qualified. It's a more compact system. And so those people out there could use that on their property. And I drafted this resolution initially just for passage by the commission. We discovered just last week that it needs to be filed with the Register of Deeds so that title companies can pick it up to show that this has been dissolved. And the big thing we need to do was put in the book and page of the resolution that we were dissolving. So that's what this amendment does. We can then file this with the Register of Deeds.
So commissioners, it's okay to make the motion to pass this and still sign these pages because it's just the signature page here. It's the front page that changed, correct?
Right.
I move to approve the resolution. As written, I guess, or as revised.
okay. I'll second that. All those in favor of resolution 122-718-70071920, amending the resolution. We'll do that again. All that say aye.
Say that 3 times real fast.
Both commissioners, please. Yeah, both, please. One, ladies.
Good morning.
Want to hear your thoughts?
Yeah.
Next, commissioners over Raleigh County Personnel Action Form for Skylar German for a promotion, Rad X Up, Community Health Specialist in the Health Department. Both sign, please. Oh, thank you. For the minutes on the board is, I think, my computer's acting up, so go ahead.
Ready to go? Okay, got them too. So we'll go ahead and start off at page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Lastly, page 10.
Move to approve the minutes of the July 15th meeting.
Okay, I'll second. It's been moved and seconded on approval of the June 15th, 2021 BOCC minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Tentative agendas, look, commissioners.
Good.
Any items for next week's press conference?
Do not.
Okay, thank you, Vinny. Send me an email from me and we'll get them on there. Next, commissioners, you have Bob Isaac at 9 o'clock. Hey, thanks. So embarrassing.
So I really want to go.
It's culture. They're usually months. Yeah. Self-contract. You know, I mean,
It's true, I'm like, I can't see that.
this list time.
Yeah.
Phone that I don't know how to work.
Yeah, it's true.
So did you get him deployed?
Yes, yeah, and got confirmation he made it to Poland, but it's on his way to Germany, so.
Well, Greg, it's a good thing we got that rain, 'cause it looks like it's gonna be dry for a while now.
So, not just dry, but hot.
Yeah, this weekend.
Well, it's fair.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. That's what I was fixing to say.
Is
Yep,
this weekend fair weekend?
it
Yeah.
is.
Of course, it's gonna be hot, it's dry. It's required. It's like it was required when Stampede was here, that it rained. Either it was 100 degrees or raining. It was two options for that.
beans are finally starting to produce. Mine
I
took
got
forever.
my tomatoes all of a sudden exploded.
Yeah, I got lots of tomatoes. If I can keep my Labradors out of there, I'm gonna go buy some netting today to keep them out.
Oh,
Yeah, I've gotten some tomatoes. Get lots of cherry tomatoes. Jalapenos doing good. Eggplant's doing good. Zucchini's like nonstop.
cucumbers.
Cucumbers.
And then cucumbers.
My peas are starting to slow down. They were doing really good, but they're slowing down.
I just, finished up. Oh, really?
Finished up my early batch. I planted a second batch and they're just coming on. They're,
But you do just green it.
Mhm.
Yes.
my dad does that. My dad grows the big.
I got one, I don't know why, I mean, they're all planted in the same place, treated the same, but I had one.
That's how my dad grows. He grows huge onions. He likes.
The white onions went great, the red onions did get bigger than this.
Oh, really?
I don't know what, they're all, let's say, the same. I want to say we're a little bit different, but it's all the same.
My radish crop was unreal, and the only one that really eats them is my wife, and she loves them. But my radish crop this year, we got huge.
Yeah.
They got huge, and they were still a good radish. That's really odd. You know,
That's
usually
nice.
they get real pithy and kind of soft. And, you know, we try not to let them get that big, but some did pick them, and they were still a great radish. So that's a great radish crop. Of course, that's one thing I really don't eat, but my wife does, so. Morning, Bob.
That's fine. It's about time. This week, I think, time to try a second crop of beans. Try.
Yeah, I'll probably do
Tried it
that.
last year, it didn't work, but I'll try it again.
I did the same thing last year and it didn't work, but I'm gonna try to eat because my peas are starting to fail, go downhill, so I'll pull those
That's
and
what, yeah, I
I'll
had been,
plant them
the
right
peas and
there.
onions are gone, so
Yeah,
fill that one in.
doing pretty good on okra. She got my wife to cook up some eggplant for me last night. She's not real big on eggplant. The rest of the family loves it, but she's not real big on it. Had some volunteer squash come up from last year. Of course, I didn't know what they were, but I had a big open area, so I just let them go and it filled the whole area, which was huge. You know, I have like 200 spaghetti squash.
Ours, we got some here, because I didn't get the, I wanted to move pumpkins to a different area. I didn't get it done this year, but we had some volunteers from last year's area, so we just kind of put it out, let it go, see how it, you know, that cook.
The sweet pumpkins.
Yeah.
That you make pie out of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because we, we put that in, add that to a lot of different things. She put some in chili. That's a little, just gives it a little different texture.
And if you get too many at the end of the season, let me know.
Well, like I said, we only got 2 vines this year, so it's not.
If you guys like spaghetti squash, I can keep you in spaghetti squash.
Something to think about.
It's really good.
Yeah, it is.
It's really good. It's easy, just throw in the oven, you know, put butter in the middle of it. Good for you.
Probably not with all the butter though.
Some butter's good for you.
Not as much as it takes to make that taste a little better.
Real butter anyway. See you.
Sure.
Just trying to get caught up, that's all.
I talked to your daughter last week. She's busy.
They're over Omaha.
That's what she said when I talked to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what's the guy's name? Come over and looked at the job.
Oh, Valerio.
Yeah, Valerio. I was
Yeah.
trying to think of his name. Nice guy.
We trying to get him down the price,
Huh?
trying to cut the price.
Yeah. Valerio.
Working man ain't got a chance with you, you know.
He's not wrong.
Pretty good storm up there.
Must have.
Yeah, a lot of pretty good sized damage. Yeah, it's like 15 minutes straight.
I got a tree. Rebecca can come look at it, send her pictures. Got a big oak. It's got some issues.
Well, trees keep growing, you know. It's been a good year for growing. Real good.
It has. They look great. When's Rebecca get back?
Saturday night.
Oh, she got back?
Yeah.
Good. I'll have to give her a call.
They may be going back up. We don't know yet.
Oh, really? Yeah, give her a call. I want her to check
Just,
it.
you know, Rich, you know, it's back in the Bible. Harvest is great, labor for few. 2,000 years ago, the same thing you got here now. I mean, it's just same thing. Don't find many people want to do hard physical labor.
Everyone I talk to says that. Everyone I talk to.
They make it look easy. The tree guys, you know, we've got little trees in the back of my brother or my son and I, we'll cut up some stuff and get rid of it. But, you know, take us all day to take a little tree, they can go out and, you know, take down a monster and it's chopped up and gone.
Yeah.
Hey, Rich.
Sir.
You see this shirt I got on? Take a look at it on the back.
Uh-huh.
Long as the way up to live on the way. And these guys, they're back in South Carolina, they build equipment, you know, workout equipment. Sure, pretty neat.
Oh, really? I mean, you have to write that down.
Yeah.
Morning, Dave. How you doing?
Good morning.
Yes.
Good.
Saying that north, the fuel tension, so the name's too long. Got an email from them this week. And they did, it's the NCKRJDF.
Yeah.
And I saw that come through and went, what is that? Because it just said, no, it said, oh, that must be that.
Yeah.
You want to copy that? Doesn't exactly roll off your. I know.
No, it really does.
Since when?
For over the week. Okay, over the weekend.
Great, did they sing happy birthday to you today?
Well, yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, that's right.
I forgot that.
Back to back commissioner birthdays. When's that ever happened?
Yeah,
Yeah, never.
No.
that's why after, let's say Catherine's Thursday, I went and asked John, I said, is your birthday next week? Are we gonna have 3 in a row? And he goes, no, he said, it's coming up.
Mine's in September, but I think it does fall on a Monday or Thursday, so. Please feel free to shower me with gifts and songs.
I just want a cake.
That'll work too. German chocolate, as a matter of fact. Whoever brought that German chocolate cake, they do that.
I did.
Okay,
Remember that?
yeah.
That was for my birthday. That's what I always request.
Nice.
My husband made that one.
Yeah.
And you. Now this paper.
It's amazing how it works.
Okay, Bob, you're up.
Okay, so we get the same go on. So, good morning, gentlemen,
Morning.
and happy petition.
Thanks, Bob.
Sheriff and Sandra Parr have made application with Ronnie County Planning and Development requesting approval for residential use designated for an extraneous farmstead and for an unplatted tract of land and to plat that tract into a single lot. The subject site is generally located approximately 550 feet west of Pebblebrook Circle on the south side of Cumberland Road. The subject site is an approximately 1.6 acre portion of a larger, approximately 10.2 acre parent tract. The applicant is requesting to receive a residential use designator for an extraneous farmstead for that portion of the parent tract occupied by the existing single family residence that was built circa 1870 and used as storage and office for the applicant's treaty service business as of recent. The septic site, along with the rest of the parent tract, is zoned AG Agricultural District, shown here in gray. The majority of the site is bounded by the city limits of Manhattan, with Wildcat Creek flowing along its southern border. The remainder of the parent tract is used for agricultural purposes / open space and developed with a monopole cell tower. And you can kind of see that across town. There are no special uses, variances, or other conditional uses associated with the site. The Ryder County Fire District number 1 will continue to serve the site. The nearest county fire station is the Keats Fire Station, which is station number 4, located at 3141 West 69th Avenue. However, the subject site is located within 160 feet of a Manhattan City fire hydrant. Now, although the property is located within a designated growth area as per the Vision 2025 Comprehensive Plan for Ryder County, Kansas, and within the Manhattan Urban Service Area, It was recommended by staff that due to the property being surrounded by floodplain and the nature of the existing land use, residential use designator be utilized rather than rezoning to a residential district in order to discourage additional residential growth at this location. Further, as per the Manhattan Urban Area Subdivision Regulations, the remainder of the parent tract will remain in agricultural use, that therefore be exempt from the planning requirements. These are the criteria that the planning board had to evaluate for the residential use designator. There are 5. And I found through their evaluation that the request met those standards. This is the preliminary plat showing the lot, existing home and outbuildings. This map also shows the slope of the subject site and the proposed lot's proximity to Wildcat Creek. According to Section 21C Development Standards of the Riley County Zoning Regulations, all new development shall be required to provide 100-foot riparian buffer zone 1 and a 100-foot buffer zone 2 along all fourth-order streams. At this location, Wildcat Creek is a fourth-order stream. The subject site is currently served by an on-site water well, and the applicant is in discussions with the city to connect to city sewer. The subject site also has direct access to Cumberland Road, a 2-lane local road entirely within the city limits of Manhattan. No additional points of ingress, egress are being proposed with this request. And this is the final plat establishing a lot of 1.6 net acres. The request was reviewed with the 2015 Manhattan Urban Area Comprehensive Plan. The subject site is located within the southwest planning area. Note that the future land use map of the plan projects this property to be agricultural with special flood hazard area. It does not encourage additional residential development at the location. Staff believes that the request is in general conformance with the comprehensive plan. Few pictures of the site. Looking west at the east elevation of the home occupying the lot. The single-family home was built, as mentioned, at circa 1870. It has been used as of recent as storage office for the applicant's tree service business. The gazebo and well are located with the proposed lot and are included in the proposed lot and can be pictured or seen in the pic behind the home. There is a mix of mature trees surrounding the homestead, as you can see here. And this is the actual north elevation of the home. That faces Cumberland Road. And it appears that there's used to be a porch or an overhang there that's now missing. And finally, looking southeast at the west elevation of the home from Cumberland Road. And it's not mentioned before, the whole reason for this is the applicant wishes to section off the home and lot, that portion of the property that as a homestead for his daughter. And on July 8th, the Manhattan Urban Area Planning Board heard the request. Having no concerns, the planning board approved the request for a residential use designator expanding this farmstead and approved the concurrent plat of Potter Addition. The staff recommends that the Board of County Commissioners acknowledge the approved final plat of Potter Addition, accepting any easements, rights of way, or licenses as shown to be dedicated on the final plat. That's all I have. If you have any questions.
Questions? Pretty standard. Yeah. So. Okay. Mike, move to approve the resolution acknowledging the approved final plat of Potter Addition. The easements, right of ways, licenses dedicated on the final plat.
I'll go ahead and second that motion, and it's been moved and seconded. Pass the resolution 701992, acknowledging the approved final plat of the Potter Addition and accept any easements, rights of ways, or licenses as shown dedicated on the plat. All those in favor? Aye.
Both sign, please.
What's the next step?
Bob?
We have to make sure we get the signatures on the plat. That needs to be followed with registry of deeds. And
mean, how do we get a deed for it?
After the, it gets recorded with the register, at that point, it's a separate lot, and then we, work through, Jocelyn Wilson, like an abstractor, to create a deed.
Okay.
So it will have a legal description at that point. We decided. It won't have a legal description until that.
Certainly. Thanks for coming in, Charlie.
Thank you.
You.
Some of it is not positive.
Yeah.
I think it's fun for you.
Oh. Not a location.
Take care.
And it's done that way.
Sam, how you doing?
Wait.
Morning, Alvin. How you doing?
Good.
You can just let Alvin go first in the press conference if you want.
Okay, fine.
He's gonna start talking in 2 minutes. I don't think that's
Do you want up here?
No, Alvin thinks he has to tell me something not good, so
Tell her, I don't.
I feel like maybe we should just postpone that.
I said something nice to him when he came in too.
He's off for you, I guess.
He said he turned a new leaf over the weekend, but we'll see how long it lasts. Probably about an hour.
Well, I'm done here at 9:30.
So that long.
So 15 minutes, not even.
Right, well. You have to have goals.
Okay, David.
All right, good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Rich.
Morning, David.
David Adams, EMS Ambulance Director with my monthly updates. Starting off with operations, calls for service in June, we had 439, which was about 10 calls above typical for this time of year. North County, we ran 21 calls, which is average. Broken down by stations, so Medic 11, which is located at our main station, 2011 Claflin Road here in Manhattan, we ran 167 calls. Medic 21, which is located at the fire station at 11th and Points, we ran 147, which is typical. Those are our two busiest stations. Medic 31, which is at the Riley County Public Works 3060 TCD, 64 calls per service. And then 41, which is out at the airport, we ran 61 calls. That's stationed out there with the Manhattan Fire Department at the airport. Upcoming events, active honest training. The annual training that is put on between Riley County Police Department, Manhattan Fire Department, Riley County NUS, K-State University, several other entities. That is this week, the 20th through the 22nd. If you would like to come see it and kind of see how this unfolds, just get with me and I'll set up some time to bring you out there. So this training goes all day. I don't have the schedule. I'll have it later today, but it involves all three entities. For MFD and for our department, it's every full timer, and then some of our PRN as well. So very, very good, robust training. Please feel free to contact me if you want to come out and witness what we do. Staff continue to wear masks while in public and on all calls. On all calls, they have to wear surgical masks per CDC guidelines. We have recently reinstated mask wearing whenever there's a shift interaction. So if Medic 11 and Medic 21 are in the same building, everybody has to be in masks because they're from different stations. And likewise, if you have somebody is off for vacation, sick, whatever, and we have a part-timer or somebody who's not their normal partner with them, then they all have to wear masks. So following our CDC guidelines the best that we can, trying to keep everybody healthy and available to respond. Our committees are still working very well. Josh is getting close to rolling out to me some changes to some of our operations that we've been working on for the last 6 months or so. I'm really happy with how they're progressing. So I'm looking forward to see what recommendations they bring forward. We have peer support for mental health is obviously a big topic for first responders. Has been for the last several years, and then this pandemic has really heightened that. So we sent another employee to peer support training in Kansas City a couple of weeks ago. It was a 40-hour training. And then we had multiple staff attended a mental health resiliency symposium in Wichita. I went down and participated as well as the director of our department to learn more about it and to show my support, hopefully, for our staff. So we're continuing to work with HR with policy manual update, as all departments are. So Josh and I have a couple meetings scheduled this week as we continue to work through that from our department's perspective. Department of Education, the last couple of weeks, really been hitting that active violence training. We've purchased some new equipment and have rolled that out to our staff and such based on feedback from years prior. Some of the things we purchased months ago, they just now are coming in. So just like everything else, supply chain has been disrupted. We continue to work with Riley County Fire District #1 on first responder related topics. Working with them on some training and credentialing. These are things we started working on a couple of years ago, obviously the pandemic, and then we have new sets of fire chiefs in, so bringing them up to speed and working through that. And Alex is working with them very closely, and I think they're about where they need to be. This last week, as part of our relationship with Fort Riley, Alex went over and he taught an emergency pediatric care course to some of their staff, their PAs and nurse practitioners and things like that. So, and then we're going to start going over there here. Again, we've kind of put it on hold now with the pandemic to go over and use their simulated lab. That's just incredibly robust. But once we can get over there, we'll get over there. We'll start training some of our staff on what they have is just. I mean, they're state of the art, and then there's what the military has. It's just phenomenal. So we're looking forward to that. Our orientation process for new hires has come along well. We have the first couple of them are about to be released to working with our staff. So this was a new process that we rolled out here beginning of the year, and put a lot of time and effort into building it. It's a national program that works really well. So I'm excited with it. We have dashboards we can look at, see how they're doing and how they're progressing, and the notes from their field training officer after every shift. And so I really like it. It gives us a better picture of how we do as a department with orientation and how our employees are doing. So, and then community outreach. It's the Riley County Safe Kids have resumed car seat check lanes. That's been really excited about that. That's been on hold for 18 months or so. So it is every Tuesday at Manhattan Fire Headquarters. Our department is responsible for the second Tuesday of every month. I believe we have 3 of our staff who are car seat technicians, if you will. I think I've mentioned that before. It's a 40-hour class to be able to properly install and check car seats. So we're really excited. This is something that every community our size needs to have, and we do it every Tuesday, but we get calls 2 or 3 times a week from somebody who's had a child and they need a car seat installed before they can leave the hospital. So, we have purchased new CPR mannequins as well as some updated software, which will help with our delivery. We were still using VHS tapes and DVDs and such, and working with Kevin and IT, we said we just need a computer that we can put this on, and we don't have to use an external hard drive or anything like that. And Kevin made it happen with one of the computers that they had, one of the laptops that they had up there. So really excited about this. Our CPR mannequins have been needed to be upgraded for several years. We were able to get it done. Questions by any of that? Okay, and then here's our breakdown of our calls. This is just what I had up in that previous screen. Runs by the day of the week. Really nothing stood out for me as completely out of the ordinary. Friday and Saturday are down a little bit, but there's just, students aren't here as well. So I suspect that that's going to change here a month from now. And then our call times broken down as well. Any questions for me?
No.
Okay.
Thank you, David.
All right, thank you. Next, Commissioner, we have a press conference, 9:30. So the Royals are keeping their streak alive, unfortunately.
Which one is that?
It's losing.
They took 2 of 3 over the weekend, but of course it was against Baltimore, so I guess you can't really.
They lost. It's the first series they've lost at home since 2012.
Oh, they lost all of them?
I thought they said they lost.
I don't know if they lost all of them, but they lost the series.
Oh.
First series they've lost at home since 2012.
Yeah. I have a feeling there's gonna be some memes disappearing here before the end of the month.
I'm not a big NBA fan. Occasionally there's certain teams I watch sometimes. Not following that much, but after the first 2 games of the finals, the Suns are gonna run them out off their thing. This is gonna be a contest, it's gonna be running them out. And then the next 3 games.
That's the only time I'll watch NBA, and I haven't watched this one, but every once in a while I'll watch them on the championship series, but I haven't. I've been paying attention to it on the radio, but yeah. Problem is Tuesday night game at 8, I'll never stay up for the whole thing. But yeah, I do enjoy watching the playoffs every once in a while, not regularly.
Like I said, I just watched games, but just by hearing, like I say, on the news, that they talk about that the first 2,
I heard
it was
that.
whack out. It's a contest.
Yeah. I'm excited for college football to start.
Mhm.
K-State football, and actually watch future son-in-law as quarterback his last year, so
Which Central Missouri?
University of Central Missouri.
Where's that? Warrensburg?
Yeah, UCM Mules.
I was thinking that, so I thought it's not really exactly Central Missouri, but I thought that's where it was. Central, north, and south.
Right. Yeah, he started out at Washburn, that's where they met.
Oh,
Then he broke his neck in football.
step on him.
Yeah, I know. I know, we weren't too enthused about him continuing playing, but doctor said he could, and he didn't. It's like his first game back too, and there was a linebacker coming over him, and he just took the linebacker head on, and he trucked the linebacker. He just heard the whole crowd erupt because he just lit a linebacker up. They gave him a hard time about having a titanium neck after that. What's the project there on 402 where all the signs were out this morning over there by Sedalia Church?
We're wrapping up the chip seal.
Gotcha.
Finished it up this morning and moved to.
Oh, on 402?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was wondering.
Yeah, we had about, 2.5 distributor loads put on there to finish up from last week.
Gotcha.
They're moving up to.
Yeah, I saw the signs on the state highway and then I saw our guys' trucks to the side and I was like, okay, what's going on there? I forgot about that.
Yeah, they're wrapping that up this morning. Well, they've already wrapped it up. So
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, good.
heading north.
Okay, well, it is 9:30, so it is time for a press conference, and we'll go and start off with you, Alvin.
Okay. Alvin Perez, Operations Manager, Public Works. Public knows we put out for a structural replacement project that we're going to be doing on Fairview Church Road. It's about 0.2 of a mile west of Condrey Road is where it's at. So it's between Highway 77 and Condrey. So that's where we'll be working. We'll be closing it down Monday, July 26th, and hopefully have it open back up July 30th, whether, as long as we don't have any adverse weather that messes us up. So, and that will be taking out a small box and putting in a new reinforced concrete box at that location. So, you have any questions or? Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you, Alvin.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rich Barber, Riley County Clerk. I want to remind everyone, advanced voting is currently open for the USD 3 and 3 primary. Advanced voting hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to noon Saturday, July 31st, and 8 a.m. to noon on Monday, August 2nd. By state law, we're required to close at noon on August 2nd. The address is 110 Courthouse Plaza. Individuals still have the opportunity to turn in an advance by mail application. You can find those online at the Riley County website. We're also coming to the office and fill one out. And we'd be glad to mail you a ballot for the USD 383 primary to your doorstep. So far, we've had 190 individuals participate in person at 110 Courthouse Plaza, and we have mailed out 614 ballots by mail. Remember, of those 614, the majority of those are permanent advance individuals. So any questions for the commission? Of course, the primary election is August 3rd, and polls will be open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. There's a lot of information can be found out on the Riley County website. You can find your polling location. You can also pull up a sample ballot. So I encourage people to do that. Or if anyone has any questions, call the clerk's office at 785-537-6300. Any further questions from anyone? Sir.
Yes, I heard that since it's only 3 people you can vote for.
Correct.
If you vote for a fourth, is your ballot still valid? If you accidentally vote for.
You can't vote for 4. If on the machines, it will not allow you to vote for 4. On paper, it would not, because then we don't know who it's given to vote for, so if all four ovals were circled in, the same amount, and it wasn't obvious, no, because there's no way to determine who they didn't want. Yeah, how would you make that decision then? There's no way to do that, no way for the machine to do that because it actually goes through an optical scan system. So yeah, some important notes. There are 10 individuals on the ballot. Everyone gets to vote for 3, which is the number of positions open, and the top 6 vote getters advance to the general election.
You said the machine didn't allow you.
No.
More than 3.
Yeah, if you vote on the machine, correct, it won't allow you to punch in 4 people. And it actually, if you go to mark a 4th, it makes you deselect the one that you don't want and then mark the 3rd. That's one of the good things about the machines. People have their opinions on electronic voting or not. It does not allow an overvote. So that is a good thing.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, what do you do if you get a mail-in ballot with 4 people on it?
Same thing. No one, if we can't determine who they intended to vote for, it doesn't count.
Okay.
How do you determine which one they didn't want to vote for?
Gotcha.
No way to know that. Any other questions? And the instructions are on there, clearly vote for 3. If someone does that accidentally, what people have to remember too, you can request another ballot. You have 2 opportunities to request another ballot if you mismark a ballot for some reason. We call that a spoiled ballot. Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Next, commissioners, you have Gary Rushavitz at 10 a.m.
You can sit laying back here.
It's not like church.
Oh. Stick around here. Two things in case they had some questions.
So you're gonna move it now? That house sold.
And when I stopped by yesterday, or over the weekend.
Yeah.
Somebody else inquired about it.
Advertised it, yeah. I didn't think so.
Hopefully this week, everything is cleaned up. If we make it that far. The one lady, she lives in the neighborhood. And a friend of ours, yeah. We're not qualified for you this much, so. You lost. We'll see, they're going so high, we're priced it.
Nothing wrong with that. You can always reduce it again. You'd be surprised.
I hope I'm not surprised. You know, I hope we get that.
I think you probably, how unreasonable your game, but this is a great market. I don't know what's like in Garden City, but every place else.
That's, I think it's starting to slow down, but they've been offering quite a bit higher than what the asking price is.
Mhm.
Anywhere from $3,000 to $20,000 more. 7, 8, 10 bidders on it.
Really?
And then some of them are even waiving inspections. Where one waiving is none, but if you waive inspection before doing the carpet. So
Mhm.
just, they're not complicating anything, one would do that right away.
I think if they're getting a loan, they have to have an inspection.
You would think so.
Well, most lenders will require an inspection. Yeah. A contractor is supposed to stop by Friday, 8 o'clock, to take a look at our roof leak if we can find.
We'll be, I'm not sure what Carrie's gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she wanted to come up here and stay.
Really?
We just check in, she can move in between 8 and 11. I think she has a meeting at 10. Family player. I don't know how they would do a potluck lunch. 9%. Stay all the time, but a lunch at 11. After that, they have practice and meetings till 10 o'clock that night.
Wow.
On the 20th, the day
What day of the week is that?
Tuesday.
I should know that it's day of the anniversary.
Well, I wouldn't make you know what day of the week it was.
Well, I gotta do this time.
And then, all I saw was the schedule through the weekend, and it's like 6 or 6:30 in the morning to 9:30 to 10 at night. So Wednesday when they get there, they start practice right away. Practice. Green Bay's had I don't think there was a whole lot of down.
You know, it's what I think is, it's start. For school. 6 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. Seen some YouTube. There's a space for it. It was some of their late night workouts on the football field. And this kid's gonna be and whether this been a couple years ago, it's still like 90 degrees at 1 o'clock at night. I think those kids are swelling.
When Brittany came and visited a few times a week before she started. It's late in the time. Used to have a bunch of brothers who would start watching.
Well, yeah, I mean,
They work about as hard as anybody.
a lot of them actually have scholarships. Which actualizes the way you get scholarship. And just matter of fact, K-State's been because they get people who show me.
They were in college.
Yeah,
got the kids, the guys for sure, not sure before they got one. Oh, yeah.
Take my car and I mechanic tonight. It's Saturday. It's about to the hospital. I'm not sure if I was gonna be able to get it going tonight. And when I did get it going, I turned around and go out here. And he's got these whistles. Sometimes you get in there, crank, it's nothing. 5 minutes later, you get in, fires right off, just runs great. It's kind of what happened in Austin, it's just kind of long fast. Check engine light to you inside. Called this and said, stay by your phone. Just in case you don't turn away. No, that's the reason we bought it. We haven't really used it much. This was worth it. So
You gonna start putting that coating on that thing today?
got me.
It's all like 6 buckets sitting outside there.
I haven't seen it. The guys here, I know they see the trailers in there. I heard them working around in front of the courthouse, but I didn't know they were looking for anybody.
Yeah, there's 6 5-gallon buckets out there now.
I figured that's why they had all the spots blocked off.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Sometimes we block those off just to.
I guess it probably works.
No. Still don't have to park too far away, so. Starting to warm up out there.
Humidity was already up, you could feel that, so.
Last night was really nice out last night. I
Was
couldn't believe in the evening. Yeah, it was.
That's supposed to be too bad today. It's towards the end of the week that she's really gonna be cooking.
Yeah, it was weekend too. Man. Almost like it's about August or something.
Well, let's get it done now, and then September comes during football season, will be nice.
I hope.
Me too. Me too.
Might be going to that Stanford game.
Oh, yeah.
Father-in-law lives right there.
Well, if you plan it out right, it's not too far away from the airport there. You can fly in, go to a hotel someplace close. And
Always drive. I like to drive, and it's an easy drive for me, 8 hours, not even.
That's what K-State of late nineties, I think it was, that they had a few of those preseason games at Arrowhead. Then one of those preseason games at Arrowhead, went to one of those. Holy cow, it was cooking inside there.
That's what
Iowa game.
that's what I'm afraid of there in Texas.
There's no air movement, and they had people, they were carrying people out. Yeah.
it was over 100 degrees that Iowa game. That's the game you're thinking of.
When that one then at the end of the season, what's the championship? Is that the same year the championship game?
No, that's we played California. Aaron Rodgers, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember it was a preseason game. I went to one preseason game. It was unbearably hot. Then I went to the when we played Oklahoma, and it was cold.
Yeah.
You couldn't even move, and there was no room because everybody had on layers and coats trying to keep warm, so you couldn't even move for all the people jammed in there.
It should be hot down in Texas, though. It's AT&T Stadium.
Yeah.
And it's indoors.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've heard that it's worth going just for that. They say it's just unreal.
Yeah, they won't have the dome open. It's an 11 a.m. game.
Hopefully it doesn't get too warm next week, not moving.
Oh.
That time of the year too.
Good luck with that.
Oh, that's right. Next week is moving. We get it.
Do it early in the morning or later in the evening, maybe.
I had to wait till later.
I don't miss those days.
It's only take a couple hours. I don't have much. These things are my bed, my desk.
Nephew moved the 1st of July. I offered to help. Didn't really, but he said, I got plenty inside your truck. I said, okay. Let me go check out what he had. Some young guys.
Younger help lined up.
Yes. That worked out just great.
But when somebody had asked for me to do that, but nobody has. I don't think I know anybody that young anymore. To be honest with you.
A little older people don't tend to move as much from rental to rental.
Yeah.
Find one, stay there.
And I did help a buddy move a very, very heavy German trunk. That was 3 parts. That might make up for a full move right there. Okay, it is 10 a.m. It is time for our bid opening for the South Otter Road Bridge Replacement Project. Let's see what we got in here, and we will start off with the first one, which is from Beaver Construction out of Wamego. Proposed number of working days for that is 100. Proposed start date of March 7th, 2022. Total bid price of $319,332.63.
Bid Hebert Construction, Wamego. Total bid price, $319,332.63. Working days, 100. Start date, March 7th of 22.
Next one I have is from King Construction. That's out of Heston, Kansas. Proposing 90 working days for this, with a start date of March 1st, 2022. Total construction price of $326,431.50.
King Construction, Heston, Kansas. Total price, $326,431.50. Working days, 90. Proposed start date, March 1st of 22.
And the last one I have is from Reese Construction. That's in Salina, Kansas. Number of working days for this, 80. With the start date of January 3rd, 2022. This was $361,618.05.
Reese Construction, Salina. Total price, $361,618.05. Working days, 80. Start date, January 3rd, 2022.
The last item I have at this bid is an engineer's estimate. Showing a grand total for this project would be $326,866.00. Yeah.
Okay. The engineer's estimate. $326,866.
Motion, Commissioners, to refer the bids to staff for evaluation recommendation.
Make the motion to send the bids to the staff for their review and recommendations.
I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded on recommendation of bids for the South Otter Road Bridge project replacement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Trade Cops 1015. Prices. Yeah. Target fuel prices and every other prices. I saw a report this weekend that consumer price index gone 5.2% year over year.
Most couple of months.
Yeah, it's been in this year, that's for sure.
We're actually debating on a project up on the parallel, whether it would be cheaper to build a structure like this, which is just kind of steel kit bridge, or go in with what they call just a modified short haunch concrete bridge. Prices. Both of those.
Yeah.
And also, can you get steel faster? You can get concrete. I mean, this probably isn't an emergency or critical situation, but
Realistically, a year ago, this bridge should have gone for about $270,000.
yeah.
And would steel be available instead of 6 months, it would be.
I think it'll be available. That's one of the reasons why we did it. Well, two reasons why we did it. One is we've got to have a contract by November, because this is on the KDOT local bridge program. We get $150,000 reimbursed, but we've got to have it under contract by November. But at the same time, since it is a steel bridge, if we award it now, the contract will have plenty of time to accumulate materials.
Get everything there, yeah.
We actually put the earliest start date on this one in January, because we're already gonna have two bridges going, one on Sin Bridge and one up on Rose Hill. And we've only got 2 inspectors.
Yeah.
So,
Price is doing all of that, and to keep the mill levy the same, the only way to do that is to cut projects or staff.
Did you see, they did an actual, nice article about taxes in the paper.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. Comparing why the taxes are so different in Pot County. Riley and Gary pointed out that Pot County, of course, has Jeffries, which is a big.
For now.
And Gary and Riley have a huge amount of non-taxable.
Yeah.
They said Pot County's is the second lowest mill levy in the state behind Johnson.
Seaward isn't about,
But ours is, we're on, I said this, Gary's is fairly, Gary's like 70 mills.
Seaward,
Ours is 90, number 90, got 105, so it's.
see where Pot County is in 10 or 20 years when Jeffries is
Yeah.
no longer functional.
If they have forecast for close one of them.
I'm not sure what Edge's plan is for that yet, but it's been being discussed.
Yeah, that would make a huge difference over there.
Yeah, given the amount of exempt property we have, it's amazing how we're able to keep it where we are able to keep it.
That's gonna have to be addressed at the state level. It's not just an issue here per se, but
It was addressed there at one time. It was called LAVTR.
I wasn't suggesting that couldn't be part of the discussion.
How's Russell?
Bad yourself?
Good.
Morning.
Morning.
Okay, great. It's 10:15.
Good morning, Commissioners. We're here on the Harris Radio Project. For any real specific detailed questions, I will refer you to Russell. Clancy has provided a car, and also he emailed you commissioners a very informative email last Thursday. We're at a place in this project where the project's going to transform from the project phase to the warranty and maintenance phase. This upgrade began back in January 25, 2018. The actual use of the radios and the system began in September of 2020. And I think it's fair to say that the reviews from the users have been positive. We're now at the end of the 1-year term of installed infrastructure warranty, and we're going to enter into the 15-year maintenance phase. And that happens with the signature of the 2 documents that are before you this morning. The one document is the change order 04 to system purchase agreement 1621. And the 1-page document is the customer certificate of acceptance form. Clancy has negotiated the terms of these documents with the representative from Harris, and our office recommends that the documents be approved today.
Any questions?
It said there was still 10,000. We're still going to hold routine. And in his note, he had said something about it's agreed. They know what they have to do for that final amount. Is that correct? It's just they still need to finish a few things. Or
the biggest holdup we have right now is 2 generators, one at Top of the World and one at Miller Ranch Water Tower. Keep having over crank alarms, meaning they aren't starting correctly automatically on their weekly routine tests. And that's the biggest holdup we have right now. And that's the main reason. That's mainly the main reason for
keeping
back
us
to
on
10,000
for those 2.
I don't have anything to answer.
I move to approve the documents as presented.
Okay, second, the move and second on the approval of change order 4 to the system purchase agreement 1621, customer certification of acceptance form for the emergency radio communications upgrade project. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chairman, please. Several spots.
Boy, it was great for that.
You need to wear a brace next time, John.
I'm getting tired, so. I keep getting knocked down in this stance, so. Or me.
Well,
All right.
Okay, Commissioners, unless Craig has something else, you have Bob Isaac at 10:30.
Okay. Do you have anything else, Craig?
I do not.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Craig.
So you know some of these things. Something you do anyway. Oh. All right.
Sir.
Yeah, if they start closing that thing down there. Different. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Don, get all moved?
Pretty much.
Good.
Just a final cleaning up and hauling stuff off. Should go on the market this week.
I was just gonna ask if you got it sold yet, so you haven't got it on the market yet.
Talked to 3 or 4 people over the last couple of weeks about buying it, but everybody wants a bargain.
Yeah.
They got up the street, I don't know how many homes he's got in the neighborhood for rentals as well as around town. He comes and stops and talks. Yeah, that's probably right, you might get it, but I'm looking for a bargain, like I know you are.
Keep looking.
You know, a couple of years ago or a year ago, you might have gotten it for that, I'd have given it to you, but what he thought, not today.
Yeah. Different market today, for sure.
Well, I say I moved, they got a trailer full of stuff parked in the driveway.
Well, it's moved, it's just not as loaded.
It was way too late last night to start undoing anyway. We had a wedding to go to Saturday night, and late Sunday morning start.
Yeah, a busy weekend.
Yes.
Got your exercise.
And some of that stuff, there's some bedroom furniture, that big old desk that we had that we're trying to sell so it doesn't move. I really don't want to move that desk. I move it one time in the back of somebody's pickup, that's it.
Yeah, but that's on half the problem, getting all the stuff inside, then it's unpacking it. Right.
Yeah.
I still got stuff I moved 15 years ago, I haven't unpacked.
Right, yeah.
That's one of the things I'm gonna do when I retire, is go through that garage. Hopefully be able to park a car in someday.
Oh. We got one shelf out in the shed of stuff that we moved. I think there's only about 2 of those boxes that we haven't gotten in since we moved, but thought we needed to move. Now we're in the process, like I said, remodel upstairs, so we're going through every closet, tossing.
It's amazing how this was doing late, so.
Because so long as we live in the house, usually we move better. So not a plan, but it's, we moved about every 9 or 10 years. We've been here 15 years and it's stacking up in the corners. We need to work on cleaning. So watch that. We'll have to move about every 5 years, not long way to read just her dad decided to do.
I guess I'm at, I moved into in August of '06, so 15 years. And it was supposed to be for a year.
That's not, August of '06.
Yeah, it was a warm summer that year. I remember that. Oh boy.
And then, as much as me, we moved, she was 6 months old when we moved into the house. And our parents still lived there when we got married.
No, they're down full truck drivers right now.
Morning, Amanda.
Morning.
Well, it didn't take long for all that rain to dry up, did it?
Yeah, it doesn't in Kansas. Between the combination we always have of the heat and the wind, you know, the wind really.
Grass felt like the rain.
Oh, man.
Grass shot up overnight, I swear.
For sure.
It had been kind of dormant there, I think.
No doubt.
Concerning stuff. All of a sudden I went home Saturday afternoon. Beats mowed again.
So my wife walked out yesterday, she goes, that's what she's doing today.
I didn't even get all of it done. I got half of it.
It's the advantage of being married to a teacher sometimes.
Summer work, yeah.
Yeah, it does kind of work out for
They're
some.
willing to mow the grass.
She actually likes to.
Yeah, you said
She likes to mow. She kind of likes getting the sun, and so bingo.
Totally opposite of Liz.
Yeah, I'm very lucky there. I don't have to mow very often at all.
I keep telling him, just get some goats and I'll take care of it, but he won't
I
do
would
that.
love to have goats. The problem is they eat everything. Climb on cars.
Oh. Details,
I would
details.
love to have a
You
goat.
know, Jeff Hancock's got llamas now.
Oh, really? My neighbor has llamas.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Here's nobody wants to walk.
Poor thing.
It's not working out.
Get as much out of it.
Jeff probably uses it for pack animals.
Yep.
Llamas are
That's
good.
the intention.
Llamas are good pack animals until they decide they're tired of walking, because a llama will just sit and you won't move it.
I'm all
When they're done, they're done. until they're ready to go again.
Okay, it's 10:30. I don't know how you're gonna top that, Bob, but you can certainly try. Okay.
Okay, so, we have before you at this moment is the, review of the, annual review of the, comprehensive plan, which is a statutory requirement of the planning board. And with the review, we've supplied the planning board with a copy of the executive summary of the plan just for the review. Most likely, all of them have a stack of those at home somewhere, from doing this. The planning board just verbally expressed they don't feel that there's anything wrong with the goals, objectives, policies, or the general concept of the plan at this point. But as myself and the director have discussed, there are parts of the plan that will need to be updated at the very least. And we're looking forward to doing that as soon as the LDR gets finished and we can move forward with another large project. But overall, we're looking at dates, times, population numbers, figures, that kind of thing, see where things are going. And we were thinking of that as an update at the very least. That could be a minor update, just getting the technical stuff figured out. But and we can also go into discussion as far as any other updates, as far as philosophies of the plan, at a later date. But as of now, they're saying it's still good to go, still functioning properly, and still appropriate for Riley County. So, and they forwarded the memo. As it is, make a motion to accept their memo, I guess, and that's it. You have any questions for me?
Well, I don't know if I actually really agree with all that. I think we have some more comprehensive things that we're going to have to do moving forward, but I do know that probably as we're sitting here at 2021, I guess that's adequate for the moment.
That's all, like I say, it's just 1 year.
Yeah.
Say it's good, say it's good for another year. I move to accept, pardon me, move to accept their memo regarding the annual review of the comprehensive plan.
Okay, I will second. It's been moved and seconded to go ahead and sign the memo to the BACC of the annual review of the Riley County Comprehensive Plan. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's it. Okay.
Thank you, Bob. Next, Commissioner, we have Elizabeth Ward at 10:45.
Scott had.
That's kind of.
Get their attention, because that's what's happening. That's our training.
That's that.
Might be a solution.
Same with what we suggested too. Nothing.
Yep.
It's a different story. That one. That is. That's 4 signs. Yeah, we, that might be. What is this? Stop. You.
Sam, I had never seen the movie Tag. Did you see that one?
What's that one?
It's actually based on a true story. Some guys, it was actually a Wall Street Journal article.
Yeah, okay.
Guys all grown up, they played the game of tag as kids and they continued playing it for like the next 30 years during the month of May. And so it's a comedy, it's humorous, but it is based on a true story. So I want to find the Wall Street Journal article and read it because at the end of the movie, it showed a picture of all of the original guys. At the end of the movie, it actually showed some of the scenarios that they had actually done to tag each other. It was humorous.
That was the same thing.
Huh?
That was the movie Andrew Eric was on his arms on.
Really?
Yeah, and then he had film vectors after that. It's the broken arms.
Oh, really? Did not know that.
It's north of south. He is north of south and north of Homestead's a dirt road.
There are advantages and disadvantages of doing your own stunts. And I had that one guy on it from Hangover.
Oh, right.
Forget his name.
It's Township Trail.
Oh boy, the map's out. What's going on here?
Plotting and planning.
More actor's name, lesser known actors' names.
It's really hard when something like carrying people. Yes. Fewer people. What's the problem there? Use the prostitute. Use the one mix.
Okay, Elizabeth.
Okay, good morning again. Elizabeth Ward, Human Resource Manager. So the purpose of my report this morning is really twofold. first, I'd like to clarify and make sure what your direction is regarding internships in 2022, because they are, to some extent, our new positions. Could be funded internally or externally. And so wanted to see if that was something that you want to make a distinction between the funding sources for those type of positions. And then I also kind of wanted to give you information on just the different types of internships currently being utilized or considered for Riley County. To get that information out, I think obviously everyone's heard of an internship, but I'm not sure if you know about the different opportunities that are available that way. So if we look down here, excuse me, we can see there's a couple different kinds of internships, and this is not all comprehensive. There are other training and internship opportunities out there that we'd like to maybe make ourselves open to, but all of these internships could potentially be paid or unpaid, and then furthermore might be funded if they're a paid internship from another source. So traditional internships is kind of what we all think of, an undergraduate internship. The undergraduate student comes on board, they might do different tasks. You would have a job description for them, might be part-time or even full-time for a short period of time, and really are learning at different aspects of a job. So for example, if we have an intern in human resources, we would teach them things about HR and they would execute those tasks, right? Those internships more and more are paid. They definitely can be unpaid, but more and more are paid. We also have these project-based internships, and we have several of these as well, where basically it's meant for an upper level student or possibly a master's student where there's a project that they would come in. We have something that a need in the county, a need in the department. They would design the project, how to execute it. They would then execute the project, and then basically we would have the end result. Obviously, that's going to be very closely tied with the department head or the direct supervisor so that it meets the needs of Riley County as well as this person's kind of higher level education or information that they have. Could be research-based or otherwise. Honestly, these are more commonly unpaid because they are kind of a higher level internship where they're really executing a specific project that should tie right back into their studies. The micro internships is something kind of new, and I'm super excited about this because there's currently a grant specifically for micro internships. So micro internships are very short-term internships. They're a specific project, but the difference between the project I just mentioned above is that this project is designed, we say, hey, we have this situation that we need a student to work on. And so we design the project, we say this is out, and then we put it out there, and a student or a class or a professor, depending who we're working with, says, yes, I would like to take on that project. They would come in and they would, whether it's a research, filing, I mean, honestly, it could be administrative, it could be across the board, these projects, and they would execute and then they would be done. These are generally paid, but there are cases where the course would mandate these types of projects for them to have experience. So if we had that kind of a relationship, that might be unpaid. And then the fun part is that right now in Kansas, there's a fund specifically for these micro internships for students that are going to public colleges or universities. So this is something I haven't presented to department heads as an option yet, depending on whether or not you support internships with other funding. I would let the department heads know this is available. And then the military transition internships is also a really exciting opportunity for Riley County. These are offered by the DoD. This is a program called Skill Bridge, and basically it matches civilian opportunities with the service member who's transitioning out of the military in order for them to get civilian experience. It's available to service members within 180 days of their end of service. And of course, it has the opportunity has to match their skill set and what they're trying to go into in the civilian world, and then also has to be approved through the military channels. But they actually are paid, but they're paid at the service member's pay rate from the DoD. And so the service member continues to be paid while they work full-time potentially for Riley County. We just hired someone actually who came to us through this program and then transitioned out and then now became a full-time Riley County employee. So it was a really great opportunity. And then we have a direct partner that works through Kansas Works, but works on Fort Riley, who is working with us to create a couple more of these internships as well. So between all those internships and then other possibilities that might come up, I guess our question is just to clarify how you feel about internships as a whole in 2022 and whether you want to make a distinction between the funding sources for any internships that would be paid.
I'd go with If you can use internships unfunded or funds by other means, that's perfectly fine, but not adding anything position-wise to add for 2022.
Yeah, and that's what I thought from your conversation, but I really wanted to clarify that, so, yeah.
Was that what it was for last, I guess for this year? Or?
I don't remember really having any discussion. I know interns get hired, but usually that's just kind of done by departments as needed and kind of facilitated with whatever their personnel budget is.
Right, and there are, some departments do have interns in their budget.
Right.
And so that's part of not only the current budget, but what's being proposed
Right.
now. And so that's not necessarily a new position, if you approve the budget that.
I know, Rich,
Continue plan they already have, right?
when we get heavy into elections, sometimes we use some paid and unpaid interns, correct?
No, they're always college kids. Those are my as needed and temporary
Oh, okay,
positions. Yeah, don't have any
I don't-
internships for that.
I really know how many of those we really use, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we actually have quite a few
Okay.
interns,
Really?
and we kind of need to get that process tightened up a little bit. But the reason this came up now is because while we're having your budget discussions, we've had several opportunities present themselves for either unpaid or interns funded through another source, and just want to make you kind of aware of that as well as get your direction.
You would literally get the commissioners a list of all the internships in which departments when you get that
Well, I would
clarified.
like to, yes, but I'm actually trying to gather that for myself as well. I'm working with IT and with the department heads to make sure we have a good list of interns.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Okay. Do we need to make a motion on that, or,
So,
Probably wouldn't hurt.
okay? I think we could do it if all three were here in consensus, but
yeah,
And the motion currently reads, move the expansion of internships when either the position is unfunded or is funded by an outside source. As those opportunities become available, is the current motion. Does that work for the commission? It's kind of what you
I
said.
was looking for.
it's down in the recommendation.
Yeah.
Yep, if you'd like to make that.
motion.
I'll go ahead and second that motion, so, all those in favor of adding interns, that are either unfunded or funded by outside sources, where there'll be no financial impact to Riley County, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, commissioners.
Next commissioner, we have John at 111.
It'll be longer for me. Gonna turn in the afternoon.
Well,
It didn't look like the agenda was all that heavy though, so maybe it'll be a long meeting.
just jinxed yourself there.
Probably did, 4 executive sessions or something.
Chamber, 12:30. Sure, exactly why. I mean, no, is there a advisory?
Oh, Business Advisory Committee. Is that a Zoom meeting or in person? They're doing that with all of us.
Yeah.
I supposed to come back in April, so, yeah. And to do that
It's scheduled.
once or twice a year with all the elected officials. Probably your first time.
Yeah.
It's a good group. Okay, good people.
I know, he lists the names, I know.
Yeah.
Quite a few of those people, half of them.
Like Mattson, who's the chair of that, he's a good guy. Okay, John?
Good morning, I'm John Ellerman, Public Works Director. What we are looking at today is KDOT's been calling a turnover agreement for the K-18 project they completed a few years ago. Basically, this is an agreement that says we will take over maintenance of 3 bridges, a handful of roads or pieces of road that were improved during the construction of the highway. And so it also includes $148,874 of reimbursement or just cash from our check from the state to pay for half the polymer overlays that on those 3 bridges that we will assume maintenance and take over. They've met the requirements, are working on the final one of this agreement to take over. They did, all the bridge inspections are completed. They're in the system, ready to be turned over to us. Once this is signed, the records will be handed over also. They do have some work completing or fixing a culvert there at Eureka. Wildcat and Skyway that was damaged or had a hole in it that they've finally got the pipe in, and now they can start this week. I think they were supposed to start or finish it up. So what we're recommending is that you sign the agreement to make it, we take over the infrastructure.
What's the polymer overlays, is that something scheduled to be done in a couple of years, or what's the?
We've already done those.
Or something we already done?
That was part of our negotiating process. Normally after we have a bridge that's about 2 years old on a hard surface road, we install a polymer overlay on it to protect it from de-icing chemicals. KDOT has a different set of standards that they use for when they install polymer overlays. So we agreed that we pay half, they pay half. So we installed those about 3 years ago. This has been just a long, drawn out process. I mean,
Like I say, it's just finalizing that.
yeah, and there's been several things. Of course, Leon Hobson kind of led the negotiations. I mean, we don't have a choice to not accept these, but at the same time, we wanted ownership of the right-of-way descriptions, the bridge inspections, the bridge files. There were several things that they needed to address after construction. And plus, there's been about 6 or 7 different KDOT lawyers during the process. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought I just wasn't clear if that something had to be done or was something that's already done.
And that 148,000 and some change, that's not for each one, that's
for half of the total.
Well, as you said, it's kind of one of those, we kind of twisted the arm forced to do, so.
Well, but it sounded like we worked our end of it for a while too, make sure we were getting the right treatment. Time for your question. Nope. I move to approve signing the KDOT agreement number 123-17 for the K-18 project.
Okay. Go ahead and second that. All those in favor of signing the KDOT agreement number 123-17. Aye.
Both of you.
Thank you.
Next commissioner, we have Michael Bowler at 11:10.
Yeah, lot going on though still.
Schedules.
Hopefully this budget presentation won't go too long. Yeah. Like I said, I gotta be across town here before noon. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Bowler with the Riley County Noxious Weed with a action item for you this morning. We had one of our positions come open, roadside operator, employee, gave me his 2 weeks notice effective this Friday. Found a different job ranching, which he loved, so he's moving on to brighter pastures, so I'm here in front of the commission.
Literally.
Literally. So I'm here in front of the commissioners this morning to ask for permission to fill this position. This is our mower equipment operator. Clearly, it is vital to roadside maintenance. And as I have mentioned before, roadside maintenance is not for aesthetic purposes. It's very much a part of the roadway maintenance, keeping the ditches open, and that sort of thing. It's just simply part of the roadway. So I'm simply asking this morning to come before you and that we have the opportunity to fill this position.
Is this the one, did you just hire someone? Yeah.
Yes,
This is the
yes,
same one, or
this
is it
is a
another
little bit of deja vu.
No.
I was here about 3 months ago filling this position, and about 6 months before that filling this position. It is really a great job. It truly is, with benefits and that sort of thing. It's just that it is an entry-level position, and generally we find individuals at that level are looking for improving their lives in many ways. And so it is what it is, that people take this position and then move up the ladder, so to speak. So in this particular case, there was no hard feelings. We had an excellent employee. I'm sorry to see him go, but he's really doing what he likes. He came here to do cattle ranching. Found the cattle ranch hand position with actual benefits, which is kind of unheard of. So,
Yeah.
in today's job market, that's apparently not uncommon.
I move to approve filling the position of roadside mowing and equipment operator.
Okay, I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded, hiring process for equipment operator for the noxious weed department. All those in favor?
Please.
Probably should have mentioned, but I do just want to add real quickly that there won't be any fiscal impact of that. It was already a budgeted position, so that's probably valuable information. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Next commissioner, we have Julie Gibbs at 11:15. Thank you.
So I'll big stack to work through today.
That's
I hope not.
That's my stuff for budgets, my stuff for church, my stuff for
Just keep it.
things. Yeah.
Miscellaneous notes.
You just got 2 more items on here.
Well, technically 3. 2 R&Rs and then another gold sheet.
Yeah, I was lumping the R&Rs together. Yeah, correct. Got more items going on right now than my dad used to say, Carter has bills.
Trying to make up for lost time is what we're doing. Lots of lost
Thing
time.
is, never slowed down.
No, never does.
If my wife was asking, when I'd be able to take some time off to spend with her and say, well, let's see, we've got budget going on right now, I've got election going on right now.
What year are you talking about?
Generally, this is the time. Take some time off because you generally don't have a primary.
Yeah.
Morning.
Morning, ladies.
Morning.
Morning.
And you're right on cue, so go right ahead.
Get a motion, commissioners.
Oh, yeah, we gotta do that stuff.
Sorry, you're late.
All right, I move that we recess as the Board of County Commission and then reconvene as the Board of County Health.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded on the request. All those in favor?
Aye.
We'll try this again. Now go ahead. Somebody's gonna start putting those on there once again.
Yeah.
It is online.
It is on
It's not all mine.
It's on your script?
Yes, it is.
You can come look. It's not on there. We'll argue about that later. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
okay. Well, I'm
Wait,
here
I
with
get
the
it.
request to fill a social worker position in a maternal and child health program. Danielle Toothman is leaving us. Her last day is August 2nd. So we would like to refill that position as it is much needed. You can kind of read through the background there, but they do take on a lot of responsibility for our MCH program, so it's very vital to this program. And it is already budgeted for this year, so we're hoping to refill that as soon as we can.
I don't have any questions. So pretty standard like the last one.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I move to approve the request to fill the social worker position.
Maternal Child and Health Department.
Yeah, I couldn't find
It's okay.
I couldn't find the right line.
I'll go ahead and second that motion. All those in favor to request the social worker position in the maternal child health program, say aye. Aye.
Both of you, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have anything else?
Nope, that's
Okay.
it.
Thank you, ladies. Have a good day.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and move that we recess as the Board of County Health and reconvene as the Board of County Commission.
Second.
Been moved and seconded on the request. All those in favor?
Aye.
I think the reason why it's not on mine is I do it off the email, not the minute tracks.
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta go in the minute track.
Yeah.
You gotta go into the system.
Yeah, I started doing it back off the email because I have to somehow log in every single
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just a pain.
You might ask IT about that issue, about having to log off and on.
Yeah, somehow when Windows updated in mid-June or whenever it was, it just put all these other cool little icons, including Cisco Jabber or whatnot. And I don't really use it, but
I'm sure they can fix that for you, John. Yeah, you shouldn't have to go through those extra hoops.
how's it going?
Pretty good.
Good. I saw that right on the R&R. We're having both of those hearings on the same day, just at different times. Is that right? Okay. We have to do that before anything else.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do that before everything else, right?
Before everything else.
Any other public budget hearings we have?
Yeah.
Correct.
Mhm. Yep.
Are we?
Actually, they'll both be the same day.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just curious if we're gonna have the potential for any more of those.
If you wanted some, we can.
That's not what I asked.
No, they're not scheduled any,
Oh, okay.
unless you guys decide to change it, because that's what you're saying today, is you'll be saying, this is our proposed revenue neutral.
Right.
You know, we're gonna exceed that, and here's the mill levy, and unless you guys decide to come back to the drawing board and cut, remember, all you can do is reduce
Right.
after this
Right.
point. But yeah, no, there's nothing in between until,
I meant, was there gonna be any other districts, any other body needing public hearings?
oh, no, we're gonna schedule them all
Okay.
around the same time, cemetery districts and all that. Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought.
No, I didn't
referring to
ask it very
these.
well, no. I know we can still work on reducing it, but
Mhm. I think we're gonna start a committee together to look for the next K-State president.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time, but it seemed like their window of opportunity to get that done is smaller this time.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard.
I
Time
don't
period
know.
is. That'll be interesting.
Well, I thought it was staying through the school year, but on the radio, they said it's just through the calendar year.
Yeah, just the end of the year. Now they can do interim or something like that too in the meantime as well if they feel need, but
Yeah, they did the interim.
he was the interim.
I know,
Yeah.
but I mean, not just interim,
Yeah.
it's like for a year
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks like a troubled bunch there.
At least we have a troubled bunch. It's been a long time. It's a long time since we've been whole.
Yep.
You guys have been waiting with bated breath for this, haven't you?
Oh, I know.
Just as long as you give me enough time to get across town for my 12 o'clock, I'll be happy.
Me too.
Highlight of my birthday.
Although if you make me late for the dentist, I probably won't be that sad.
Exactly. If Tammy's delaying, you know why.
So I'm gonna say I'd almost trade you, but nah, I think I'll take a pass on that one. You can go to my 12 o'clock and I go to yours.
Well, mine's just a cleaning, so
Oh,
I just don't like to go to the dentist, but necessary evil.
I think it'd be a tough job knowing that everybody comes in there at one thing.
I actually gotta find a new dentist. I've been going up to MATC for years.
Oh,
And it's closed now, so I'm gonna find another option here, spring, whatever.
Yeah, tight timeline, if you gotta grab lunch too.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
Hopefully, short meeting there.
We got the budget and stuff done. It really shouldn't be too long, I would think. Life's never without surprises.
Change is constant.
That it is. That it is.
You gonna start with fire district, Tammy?
I think it would
Okay.
probably be good to start with.
Sounds good.
Okay, and it's that time.
Commissioners, I have budget work session here in front of you, and I'm going to let Russell start with his fire district budget. He'll answer any questions and just give you an idea as to why we're needing to go beyond that revenue neutral rate that we have calculated.
Morning again. So, do you have any questions in particular, or do you just want me to kind of iterate some of the stuff I talked about before?
Awesome, you talked about it before, but
Right.
trying to go back through here, and I'm sure there was
So,
time.
two of the biggest things are obviously the age of the truck in the fleet. And here are some examples. And I have a couple more for you. Those copies there are the trucks that are 50 years old or older. And it's not like those are reserve trucks sitting in the back of the station just in case of the front line, first out the door trucks, or grass fire, house fire. It may or may not be used what goes on a medical or a car wreck, but pretty much any kind of fire, those are first out the door trucks. They're not like backup reserve trucks sitting in the back of the station. And this colored spreadsheet that Tammy just handed out for me, it shows all of our vehicles, and the ones highlighted in blue up there are 50 years old plus. Then the next one's highlighted in whatever color that is. Pink. Are 30 years old or older, and so on and so forth on down the list. The things down at the bottom are accessory things such as lawnmowers and trailers and other things. That top block going down to that first set of greens is all of our fire trucks. And it shows you what the ages of those trucks are and types, and if there's any questions you have, I can explain, some of the other things on that sheet. But the single biggest thing I'm looking at there is age. And on those 50-year-old trucks, it's harder and harder to get parts for them, the old military trucks. One reason that we need to increase our budget, obviously, is to replace those. In the past, we've been able to free trucks from surplus, but there are fewer and fewer far between. They just aren't available anymore to get those free trucks anymore. So not only are those trucks aging out, but there's not replacements for them from the same programs that were there before.
That's the big vehicle expense listed on there,
The emergency line item.
125,000, right, which like I say is the big.
And when going out to buy a vehicle, a fire truck, 125 is off of it. I mean, it's really not enough. Like my original one was like 65,000 more. When you asked for trim, I trimmed 65,000 out of the original request. And even then, we're not going to be able to replace probably one truck a year, even at that rate. And we have, like I said, these I forget what the number is, around 13 trucks, give or take, that are 30 years old or older already. And then the other item is the 2 fire stations that we still have to replace. And so here's the picture of 2 of the fire stations that we still have that are the old cinder block buildings. And then that third one is what we've been replacing those buildings with. A fairly simple metal building, red iron type metal building. Nothing real fancy there. Not a bunch of rock or brickwork or anything like that. Just a plain Jane building. Something more modern, a little more energy efficient, a little more road tight, etc. But lower maintenance, don't have to be painted, etc. And so if I were to cut the budget more, I would ask the commission for direction on, do I not build fire stations or not replace 50-year-old trucks? I don't know the good answer to either one of those. So
Just to let you know, the overage on the revenue neutral is 96,177. keep in mind his valuation did increase. So because his valuation increased, it allowed him less of an overage than he would normally have if he could actually capture that improvement cost. And he is just at a 0.526 higher than the previous year's mill levy amount, which is also in the packet.
And I have
Don't worry about
this,
that revenue neutral rate.
Right, but the 0.526 is the difference from last year's.
Yeah, that's
mill levy.
what I look at more.
Yeah.
That revenue rate.
Yeah.
It's not.
and then I do have some pictures of some of the 30-year-old or older trucks, if you'd like to see those.
Where is that in the budget? Is that just in that debt service thing? Is that because don't you finance the new buildings?
Actually, it's not necessarily there because we won't make our first payment in 2022. It wouldn't be until
So next year,
2023.
yeah.
But what is there is actual other
The two ones.
like
that we
matching
just-
costs that you may have to take into account and pay for with the financing that you have.
And that's why that debt service went up this last year for the last two new stations.
Right.
Correct.
You can probably expect that again in 2023.
Yeah, so it'll be another jump
Mhm.
like that.
And he does have a limited transfer into his capital outlay, and because he has been making payments for different things out of his capital outlay is not very large. I think
Yeah,
we looked at with what he has and moving that 30,000 over, he would only have I think it's 96,000 in his capital outlay. So, and he has all of that reserved for emergency vehicles. So again, he would pull some of that, but he doesn't have access to CIP because they're a separate taxing entity.
Yeah.
So really what's in there is all that he can pool to use for those kinds of expenses for the fire district. Is there anything else on his budget?
As far as trucks, in the past, the district has bought some new trucks, some used trucks. I think, and Doug can probably speak to this better than I think it's pretty standard if you buy a used truck. Obviously, over the next 10 years, you're gonna pay more in maintenance costs on that used truck. You're gonna pay a lot less upfront for that used truck, but you are gonna have higher maintenance costs, and so it's kind of a give and take. Going forward, we will continue to evaluate whether a new truck versus a used truck is the better buy for the district. And I anticipate probably each type of truck will be a different scenario. And we'll probably continue to have to purchase new trucks just because of the initial purchase cost. Just for some numbers, a basic plain Jane structured pumper truck, probably the cheapest you're gonna buy something new like that is bare bones, as plain Jane as they can get, $250,000. And not that we would want or need a truck like this, but just a comparison, the last new engine, City of Manhattan bought $900,000. So, a reasonable amount would probably be around $300,000 if we were looking at a new truck, which obviously with the funding we have right now, we won't be able to. On the grass trucks, the pickup trucks, I think they've been buying mostly new trucks. But even then, to get a fully everything brand new grass truck, you're looking at 80 to 100,000 probably to get something completely outfitted.
That's kind of that to replace these type of.
Yeah, well, then, so that would be considered a heavy brush truck / tanker. So to replace something like that, use probably in the 150,000 used. New, pushing 200, something brand new like that.
I know you said they used to be able to get them from that's resident for forestry services, and that where they used to come from. Said that they're
And
not,
they're
waiting
waiting,
where theirs is quick anymore, is that kind of?
right, and the waiting list is long, we're on the waiting list, but, when one comes available, there's 20 or 30 places that want it. So,
Yeah, obviously everybody's looking for those.
Well, I think it's pretty apparent that we're gonna probably have to work ahead on both of those, so. Do we need to make separate motions for each?
Yeah, I did a separate motion because they are separate taxing entities, so an indication of revenue neutral rate pursuant to Senate Bill 13 for taxing entity Riley County Fire District Number 1. Need a motion in a second.
Need motion to.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
The motion I stated.
Yes.
The motion is stated for the neutral rate.
Riley County Fire District 1.
Yeah, we're up.
Okay. I will second that motion. All those in favor of said motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, Russell.
The second one, I'll go ahead and do that. Indication, we'll make a motion, an indication of revenue neutral rate pursuant to Senate Bill 13. I won't go through all the KA statutes for taxing entity of the county of Riley in Kansas.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded on the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do need to keep in mind, at least on the Riley County side, we can, that's our ceiling. We can still continue to work.
Well, that's on the fire district as well. I mean,
Yeah, right.
you all got authority on that one as well. I need
I
the
don't-
chairman to sign these.
See this. On that
That's it, folks.
up.
Was there anything else on the county's budget that you wanted me to talk through or work through for you this morning?
I think it would be probably better to get another one scheduled when all three of us are present. We can discuss that a little bit further.
Okay.
If that's okay with you? Okay. Do keep in mind that we won't be meeting on the 29th of July, just for your calendar, Tammy.
Okay.
One.
Is there anything on that next session that you want me to bring back or to look at or to review once again?
Nothing specific at the moment. If we have something that comes up along the way, can we email you? Okay.
Tammy, schedule one and just general discussion and kind of review it to see if they have any questions once we have all three back.
Yeah.
Nothing specifically, just so everyone understands where we're at on everything.
All right, I guess you can go to your meeting and I have to go to the dentist. Thanks so much for that.
Oh, it says so much. I'm just gonna leave it though. It wasn't really the normal budget here. We just had to get some things set up for that revenue neutral.
Oh, okay.
The next one will be a little bit more vigorous in discussion.
Got some fresh air.
Okay, so I don't have anything else today. I don't know if you do.
Good.
Okay, Rich, anything? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and entertain a motion to
To adjourn the, it's on 19th.